joined us. We're running these events around BJSS Vibe. We did the first one at the Leeds Digital Festival last year, and we're hoping to make them a series. It's essentially, we want people to kind of get a feeling for what it's like working at BJSS, not just the technology side, so this is much more about the person, and as you can see from the slide, the person is at the center. So we're going to show you all the support that you get when you're working at BJSS. BJSS started off as quite a small organisation, just a few people, and has grown to nearly 2,000 now. So we've had to put a lot in place in the last couple of years as we've grown quite rapidly to make sure that all the right support is in place. So let's pop on to the next slide. So hi, I'm Martin Huckle. I've been with BJSS 8 years. I'm a squad lead, I'm a line manager, and I'm anything between a test engineer and a test manager. Sometimes I'm a kind of strange mix of all those things. Ash, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello, I am Ash. I've been at BJSS for 2.5 years now. I looked it up the other day, and I started off as part of their grad scheme when I initially joined, and now I'm currently working as a Scrum Master on a NHS project, and I am also a D&I champion, Diversity and Inclusion champion, and a line manager here.
Oh, cool. And Nat?
Yeah, thank you. I'm Nat. I'm primarily a developer, started about over 10 years ago at BJSS, currently a tech lead on a project, but I'm also a line manager as well, and look after something called a buddy scheme, which we're going to be talking about that later.
Cool. Becky?
Hi, I'm Becky. I joined BJSS in October last year as a business analyst. I'm currently working on an NHS digital project, and as my time goes on with BJSS, I'd like to get involved with D&I and become a line manager. Great.
Paul?
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Paul Charman. I've been with BJSS now for approximately 17 months. I've originally come in as a test engineer, now a people lead, and as well as that, also deal with line management. Brilliant.
Thanks. So we'll move on. If you have any questions along the way, feel free to put them in, and we'll get to them at the end, most likely. So what are we going to look at first? We're looking at the kind of support you'd get on a project. So at BJSS, obviously, we deliver lots of projects, lots of really good IT stuff for clients such as the NHS. And we do that by having great support as a team on a project and around that as well. So as you can see from the picture, your primary support is the project team. They should be welcoming you onto the project, getting you all set up and ready to go, and helping you develop as you go as well, because we want to do that as part of our project work. You'll also be aligned to a capability. So a capability would be something like development or test or business analysis. And all of those peers who are not on your project are available to you, and you can ask questions. Everyone's very happy to answer them, and so you get that level of support on there. If they can't answer your questions, we also have principal technologists and our chief engineer, very approachable, and that they'll be introducing new technology, making sure we're using the right mix of technology, etc., on our projects, and making sure that if you're not sure how to implement something, then they'll be there for you as well. And then we have your line manager and squad lead who aren't directly involved in your project, but if you want a project move or there's something happening on the project you want to talk about, then you can go to your line manager or squad lead, and we'll talk a bit more about the difference between those later. So Becky, you've been with BJSS quite a short while at the moment. What's been your experience of joining a project?
Yes, I joined in October, as I said earlier, and I was put on an NHS digital project. It's quite a large scale project. It's been going on for a number of years, and there's lots of things involved in it. And there's also me and another 4 business analysts on this project. So the project support has been amazing from the other business analysts on the project, as well as everybody else involved. I think the main thing is that everyone just made me feel so welcome, and because the project is such a large scale project, there was no expectation to learn everything overnight. It's been gradual, and the more I do, the more I learn, and I'm still learning every day. Because there's so much to know for this particular project. My BA lead, he puts regular catch-ups in to see what I want to get out of the project in terms of my career development. We do a lot of talking around what kind of requirements I want to pick up, and what kind of and which path I want to take, whether they be technical requirements or more front end requirements. And he also helps support with the career development, so that I'm getting what I want to get out of the project in terms of career development, but also working hard for the project itself. And as well as that, I've had the tremendous support from my line manager, my squad lead, which I think Paul's going to touch on. But there's so many people involved in this project, and every single person is so open and welcome and made me feel really supported. And everyone's just happy to help. And there's always someone to ask a question to, and there's no right or wrong question. There's no stupid questions. There's so much to learn that the more questions I've been able to ask, the better. But yeah, I've just had tremendous support from day one, basically on the project, and I continue to get that support today. So
that's really great. That's great to hear. I guess my experience as well has been similar on projects, and yeah, everyone is very collaborative and very supportive. I think Paul, you've got some ideas about the kind of how line management has supported projects.
Yeah, absolutely. Being a line manager, it's a very interesting and rewarding thing to actually be involved in. Sometimes within the company, we all are working on specific projects, and sometimes you may well actually be working with some of your line managees, or in my case, I don't. So you get quite a good view on projects by speaking to the people that you're dealing with on a regular basis in regards to line management. I think the key thing about being a line manager within BJSS is that we're here for a number of things, and one of those things is being able to support and drive career aspirations for the people that you're looking after. We're not pushy. We see that as an organic thing, so we go at the pace of the individual. We're all different. Some people are, very focused and will drive, and others, takes time to bed in, and, we all work at different paces. So, we ensure that we really accommodate, everybody as that individual. The support mechanism that we have is, we do quarterly reviews. However, our doors are always open to everybody. So if there's anything that's going on, or, that want to have a chat, certainly they know that they can reach out and speak to their line manager, and, just have a chat, get whatever concerns there are out there, and, we help get resolutions put in place. The other aspect that we are very, very tuned into is that support mechanism. When you join BJSS, you're joining a fantastic company, but it is a company that is growing. So there's lots that you have to learn about about BJSS. On top of that, you have a project that you get placed into. So you've got to learn about your project. You've got to meet your team, your squad. So there's lots of information there to a degree where, yes, it can be information overload. So as a line manager, again, we're here as a support mechanism. So, if somebody hits a slight bump in the road and they just need that little bit of pastoral care and support just to, get them going again, back on their feet, that's what we're here for. Yeah, as I say, it's all about individuality and, fine-tuning our processes for individuals to make sure that, the support that we give is 100% to them.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, Paul. As someone that's just joined BJSS, I couldn't agree more on the individuality side of things. Everyone is so different, but and everyone does learn at their own paces, and the support that is there to just to help you grow is it really is a great place to work. And the support I do get from my line manager and my squad lead, whether it be for my career or pastoral care, it is fantastic. And I haven't had it's great.
I just say something on top of that as well. So it's something that I've kind of done in my current project, but there was somebody who was struggling a little bit coming into a project as a new recruit to a BJSS, as well as new to the project, new to technology, everything was new. So what we did, speaking to the squad lead and as well as the line manager, was to place a mentor for them, so that they have a one-to-one relationship to go in terms of technologies or any struggles that they're facing. So within project or teams, they can obviously be looked after by the team members, but at the same time, you know, if you've got any technical sort of problems or anything like that, you could go to a related technical capability lead or groups for the help, or you could go to those leaderships to get those mentors, so that you are fully supported, not just kind of being left alone in a team or the project on your own. You get all those helps as well.
Yeah. I would want to add to that is that, you know, it's the squad leads, the line managers, the mentors, everybody, we're all put in place to say to help the individuals. And I think for me personally, the thing I like the most about being the line manager is actually being able to support people and to actually watch them grow and flourish within the company and see those opportunities arise. And it's basically going through the journey with them.
Yeah. It's nice as well, the support that you get. You can have as little or as much as you want as well. There's so many things in place, and you can use as little or as much of that as you want, and depending on how you're getting on. And it really is like a nice family vibe. Everyone just really gets on, and everyone just wants to help everyone do their best, and you really do get that feel from your colleagues as well.
Yeah, that's cool. Has anyone got anything they want to add for this before we move on? That's cool then. So next up, we've talked just quite a bit about the pastoral care as well. So we do support people on projects, but other things happen to people, or they feel like they want to change direction, whether that's within a capability or they just want to kind of have some new experiences through work. And initially they'd talk to their line manager and discuss this through reviews or other catch-ups. And then the squad lead certainly would get involved in supporting any kind of moves. There's a people lead as well who's there. So if we have any kind of major escalation to a life event or something like that, initially that would get escalated to the squad lead, who's responsible for the pastoral care of about 30 people, and the people lead to look after all the squad leads and anything that you might traditionally, I guess, consider in terms of an HR department. So we try and make all of those events much more focused on the people, so you've got someone you can go directly to and get these things sorted out. If there's anything that happens to you that you don't want to talk about within the work environment, then we have the employee assistance program, which is confidential and is run by a separate company. So you can go out there, you can get advice, you can get counselling, whatever's appropriate. So that's the kind of support we have in that space. So in terms of change, Ash, you started out as a graduate test engineer, and you've changed your main capability and moved in other ways. Can you give us an insight into that?
Yes. So like I said, I started off 2.5 years ago, joined as a graduate tester, which is great. And a little while after, I decided it's not something I wanted to do long term. I wanted to get into delivery management. And as Martin mentioned, my first point of contact was my line manager. I had that conversation with her and said, this is what I'm interested in. This is my reasoning behind it. Can we please make that happen? And from her, my line manager, and my squad lead, I got so much support in terms of they got me in contact with the right people, the capability leads, and I was able to say what I wanted to do, what I didn't want to do, what I was interested in. We kind of got a plan together on how this is possible, how can we go about making this happen. And it just so happened at that time there were many other people who were in a similar position to me, who were from different capabilities and wanting to get into delivery management. So we were able to kind of put together like a little support group for us, which was run and involved several of the DMs. So they've taken their time out to kind of help in the support group. And from that, I was given the opportunity to, in my original project where I was a tester, while doing testing, I was able to pick up some DM tasks where I kind of got the flavor for things. And I was like, okay, this is what I definitely want to do. I want to move over. So like I said, I had that confirmed conversation with my line manager and said, please, can we make this happen? Please, can we have an opportunity for it? And wider conversations took place, voicing what I wanted to do and that I'd shown the enthusiasm for it. And I got the opportunity to come to my current project where I got to jump the fence and kind of go into the delivery management side, see how things happen. I was able to attend all these meetings that I wouldn't have been able to, obviously, as a tester, and I got the wider context of things. And currently I'm working as a Scrum Master in that. So, and it wasn't just an overnight switch that took place for me. There was a lot of conversations that took place, people checking in to make sure I'm still continuing to be happy, like I'm doing what I want, what I want to do. And it was as I expected. So I wasn't just left to, all right, you've said this is what you want to do. You come onto the project day one, like do the thing, do the management stuff. So I was fully supported by the DMs in my project alone. I would catch up with them weekly, bi-weekly, and they would just talk me through theory, give me feedback on sessions that I'd run and stuff. So there was this immense level of support that I got from so many different individuals in the organization that I would have never spoken to before if it wasn't something I was interested in. And there was loads of different sessions that the capabilities run that are open to everyone, where you can go learn and kind of build your knowledge, network a little bit, and those kind of things really help, because now I know who to bother for what. And although I've been in this role for a while, I still people check in on me to say how I'm doing, to see if I need any help or support or anything of that sort. So coming in as a grad, that was quite scary to think, oh, I haven't been in the company long, am I okay to say this is not what I want to do, this is what they've taken me on for? But it was there is a real focus on what I want to do. It's not just I've been taken on for this role, therefore I have to stick to it and do it till I leave BJSS. It's what are you interested in, what do you want to do, what are you making the most out of, what coming into work, are you enjoying yourself? There was a lot of focus on that. So I have nothing but praise for other people, and I cannot thank them enough as well. There's so many people that helped me get to the position that I'm in right now, and I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, so all good.
That's brilliant to hear. I do know most of your journey, and I think it's been great that you've been given that support and those opportunities. And I can say, because I'm on the same project as you, you're doing really well. So that's even better. And I think Paul, you've also had a bit of an interesting journey as well, haven't you, through BJSS?
Yeah, I have indeed. My journey actually started several years ago when I actually came into BJSS as a contractor, as a test engineer to work on a major NHS project. I was actually quite taken back from the very first day that I started with BJSS, just to see how people worked. The enthusiasm that was there, both from the developers and the testers through to the senior management and the clients, because we were all working out the same office. And it was just great to see how, everybody bonded together, because everybody was committed to getting the job done. So I remained as a contractor for, I think it was about 18, 19 months. And then that came to an end, and it was actually quite sad for me, because I was enjoying myself so much. And I'd always sort of thought to myself, if I could ever get back into BJSS, I would take the opportunity straight away. Several years down the line, the opportunity came, and I was approached about becoming a permanent member of BJSS, again as a test engineer, which I took up straight away. And you know, very, very quickly settled back in. You know, it's as though I was, I'd gone away on a very long holiday, you know, accepted straight back into the projects, and, you know, started doing the things that I like to do. I then became involved with the buddy scheme, which Nat will come on to a little bit later, which is, you know, helping new starters come on board, and they just have somebody to turn to just to ask those silly questions that we always have whenever you start, and, you know, within a big company. Then after that, I then started working as test leads, and I enjoyed that side of it because you were also dealing with the technologies as well as the people. And then the opportunity came along to become a line manager, which I accepted. And, you know, it was all through the help of my squad lead, my line manager, the people leads, all my peers. You know, there's such a fantastic network that you can tap into to, you know, get information about certain things, and also to find out who you are as a person and how people see you as that person. And then, you know, the opportunity then came along for the people lead role on a major client's project that I'm now working on. And again, you know, I turned to my line manager / squad lead, because they are the same person, and you know, had really good open conversations, you know, to get that assurance: am I the right person for this? And then again, tapping into that network of people to get the information. And, you know, here I am now as the people lead on that project. So my journey has been very rapid. I wasn't expecting it to be this quick, but yeah, you know, the opportunities are out there. And as Martin mentioned earlier, and Ash, you know, you don't come into BJSS just to do that same job. The opportunities are there for you. So, you know, if you think and you want to change your career path, then the opportunities are there for you to go and take.
Yeah. No, I think that's really interesting, because Paul did apply for the role of people lead, and that was advertised across the company. So anyone could have gone for it. Paul decided to go for it, and it's been great so far from what I've heard. I think it's also important to say that all the people leads, the squad leads, line managers, pretty much all very approachable people, and that's important when you kind of get into the personal challenges and life events. And while I look after 30 people specifically, people also know that they can go to any squad lead. So if they're more comfortable going to see a different squad lead or go straight to the people lead, then they can do that as well. So was that Nat? Were you going to say something then?
No, sorry. No, I was just nodding. No, but I was going to say the life event and personal changes kind of stuff, challenges. I know that there was somebody who went on sabbatical sort of leaves and things. So it's like maybe like Paul was saying, it was just like, you know, left and then came back kind of thing. Another thing that is interesting is that there are a number of people who might have actually left the company, but just actually subsequently come back. So I think, yeah, we're doing something right to, you know, get the people back into the company. So it's just a great thing to hear that, you know, there will be returners like that.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate the point about the squad leader now, just how helpful they are in understanding. My squad lead, she's so understanding. I'm a mum, so I've had challenges with childcare and things like that, and, you know, just life events, and my squad lead she's just been so understanding and so helpful, and I can't thank her enough.
That's brilliant to know. Thanks, Becky. So I think if we move on to the next bit, we've got so when you need to be yourself, when you need to play. So we're not all about the projects, we're not all about just support in that way. We're also a very social company, and have been since we were quite small. Now we've got all these regional offices. I think when I joined the company 8 years ago, there were probably only about 4 or 5 offices. I haven't got a clue how many there are off the top of my head, but we're probably heading towards 20. And they're across the world as well. And so just in 8 years, we've moved from 300 people who you might just about know everyone to around 2,000 people. But within Leeds, we're around 500, I think it is now, possibly 600. And so we've got a lot of stuff that goes on, and we're trying to include people in all of these things and do things that are off project. So just in our location in Leeds, we have an office manager and a regional team. They organise some amazing events. We've had retro games, we've had karaoke, there's always a Halloween themed thing going on every year. Monthly socials, town halls, and we also have a weekend away that's paid for by BJSS, and that's pretty much all organised by the office manager and the admin team. So they make sure things happen, and they also do so much more in the office to make it a nice place to work. So they're brilliant to have. Your capability peers, so if you want to geek out in whichever capability you're in and just chat about things, so if there's some business analysis things you want to talk about, people will be happy to talk about that off project and just get involved, or development things. There's advent of code that a lot of people get involved in, not just developers, over December, all sorts of things like that that people are more than happy to get involved in. And then we've got various Slack channels like crafting and music and photography, so people share their hobbies in there. And we've also got clubs which will be starting up again now, like five-a-side football, climbing and board games, which we do subsidise in some way and support those happening. And last but definitely by no means least, we've got the buddy scheme, and Nat's going to talk to you a bit about the buddy scheme now.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I am looking after something just mentioned called buddy scheme, which is also Paul mentioned, is about new starters. So when you're obviously coming into a new place, it's all really daunting. It's quite scary, especially when the company is quite a big, like BJSS. You're gonna jump in. It's because we're the consultancy company. You could potentially be in a project straight away, or you could be learning by yourself. So you never know until you start what's going to happen. But buddy schemes always there to help you kind of settle in socially. So project-wise, you're looked after. Technical-wise, you're looked after by different people. So you've got the line manager always. You've got a squad lead always. But buddy is definitely a one-to-one relationship. Because line manager is one-to-one, but it is kind of a bit formal. But buddy scheme there is very, very informal. It doesn't have any structures as such. There isn't any limitations. So what happens is that when you start at BJSS, you're allocated to a buddy, and he or she will come to you usually in face-to-face and say hi, and so that you are in fast name terms, and you can basically ask any questions, like you said, no silly questions, but you don't tend to want to ask your line manager, so where's the best place to go for a coffee in town, that kind of thing. Or do you want to just kind of pop out, oh, I've got an hour lunchtime that I want to kill, I want to go out, where to go is the best place, where's the best pub, kind of thing. It's always that kind of really sort of informal activities that happens between buddies, and they are there just basically to be an anchoring point for you, your social activities. So if you go and ask, say, okay, I'm interested in, like I said, football, I want to just play, where's the best place to go? Those are the bridges that they can cross or provide. So they can basically team up and say, to introduce you, say, okay, so there is a club, there are these people who are interested in the same kind of, activities, hook it up and just basically introduce them. So it's like 6 degrees of whatever it was, the Kevin Bacon stuff. Yeah. So if you got one person who then you can go to the next person, then you can just basically expand your sort of social activities and circles that way. And then a buddy scheme is basically to help you with that. And so it's kind of there in a similar way to the squad leads and everybody else, but it's more sort of informal. I think that's what they're there for. And I've been looking after this buddy scheme for maybe last 5-6 years, but when I started over 10 years ago, it was already in place. So this is an ongoing thing that is quite a long kind of running thing. We've been struggling a little bit recently because of the fact that we've been all gone remote. You know, we used to have like lunch outings, like as a group, and so we go out together. You know, we are encouraging people to go out for coffee from time to time. It's all expensed as well. So yeah, it was almost quite physical, but now because everything is remote, it's been difficult. So we're trying to work out how to go forward in a hybrid sort of manner. So yeah, we are still in evolving, and we're still kind of working out what's the best for people, but buddy scheme is always there to just help people to support socially.
That's really cool. I did benefit from the buddy scheme myself, obviously, and it really helped me just get into the organisation and understand people and meet new people. Is really helpful in that way. I think another aspect of the whole kind of what happens in work is diversity and inclusion. So we make that quite an important part of who we are as well. And Ash, you've been a D&I champion for a little while now. What can you tell us about it?
So yeah, like you said, I've been a D&I champion for a while, and it was actually through my buddy that I found out about the D&I work. So it, you know, it really opens up. I wouldn't have known otherwise, you know, what's happening, because when you first join, it can be a bit overwhelming. There's so many clubs, there's this, that, and the other, and then your buddy can say, "Oh, I attend this. Do you want to come along?" And you can find out things like that. So I found out about the D&I stuff through my buddy, and I became a D&I champion a couple of months ago now. I think it's been a while, and there's a lot of great work that goes on. So specifically, I'm talking about D&I in Leeds. There's a lot of different initiatives that we've done throughout the years that the previous D&I champions have done. For example, you know, for they've done a lot of Ally 101 talks for the LGBTQ+, how to be an ally for them. We also feed into many news articles and newsletters, because we want it to be something. We want BJSS to be somewhere where you can come and feel like you're included, you're celebrated, your heritage is celebrated, your background is celebrated. And this is something that all of BJSS colleagues contribute into, not just what the D&I champions deem appropriate or want to celebrate. For example, we did a collaborative thing for Black History Month across different offices, and that was a really big uptake, and it was driven mostly by the colleagues, what they wanted to see, what they wanted to celebrate, what they wanted to talk about, which was great. It was a great way to kind of connect with new people as well, great for networking, great to talk to people who are like-minded and also passionate about the same thing. So we're also working on numerous upcoming initiatives. You know, we want to encourage this to be a really safe space for anyone and everyone who joins BJSS. And while you've got all this wonderful support from your line managers and your buddies, capability leads, the D&I champions are also here for any issues that arise. Maybe if you want to talk D&I specific for us, with us, so you can come to us and have these conversations and feel like you're still in a safe and open space, because it's really important. And this is one of the things that really attracted me towards D&I and BJSS, that you don't have to feel like wear a mask or not be celebrated, or just feel like, you know, I'm here for work. This is my work face and let's move on. You get to be a part of something a lot bigger and you contribute to it. One of the big initiatives we have this year is focusing on mental health, and that was really driven by conversations that took place over different Slack channels. And we as D&I champions noticed that there's real ask that we need to talk a little bit more about mental health awareness. So, you know, we've had volunteers come in with lots of different ideas, and we're having a kickoff session. So there's a lot of input from yourself to what you want us to drive and what you want to see. And it might be some of the panelists have also contributed, you know, joined or volunteered throughout many things, but it's really a place where we're trying to make everyone feel really included and supported in every way, shape or form, not just you're on a project, this is what you do when you go home at the end of the day kind of thing.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. It's like I say, I only joined in October, but I made it from day one. I've been really wanting to get involved with the D&I work for personal reasons and to help others, and it really is a place where you can be yourself, and you, like Ash said, you don't have to wear a mask. It's great, and everyone is there to help and support you. So I just wanted to reiterate on that point.
So that's really great to hear. And yeah, I think we do support people in all sorts of different ways. And my experience is, especially with the graduates who've come through the company, is that we just hold them able, and we're able to support them, and they grow. Somebody I work with wanted to become a test lead fairly quickly. She was totally capable, so I mentored her, and she's now got my old role on my old project. So she's doing really well in it as well. So I'm kind of proud of that one. And the other kind of opportunities that come up, which are kind of within BJSS, but we're supporting other organisations around our corporate social responsibility. So we support initiatives like Tech Up Women. We provide mentors and people who will do training with the organisation. I'm involved I've done a presentation about my career path, because it wasn't straightforward, and people coming back into tech or coming into technology new from another career are encouraged by people, hopefully, who've had a kind of different career path rather than just straight into tech. Also, we're doing interviews, so mock interviews for Tech Up as well. So I'll be involved with that. So it's all those kind of things that we offer support out to our community as well. Another example is where there's a Leeds company who provide laptops for underprivileged children. They had a load of laptops stolen, and our IT department sprang straight into action and cleared out all of our kind of spare laptops that were kind of end of life for us, but still of use to others, and got them over there pretty quick. So all of these things, ideas coming from people, IT reacting really quickly, mean that it kind of feels like we're doing some good things out there in the community as well. And then individually as well, you can have opportunities to present. You can either do that through your own network, be supported by BJSS, or we sponsor events like Leeds Digital Festival as well, and you can get involved in those. So there's lots of different ways to be involved in things off project, and you'll be supported through all of those. Has anyone got anything else they want to add for this?
Yeah, I think that's really great that, yeah, we actually put a lot into community. We've had like all sorts of events, like I think Leeds Library and the council hosted a code night or something at the library, and then we went actually there to help, you know, sort of young kids. I think it was aged 11 to 15 or something, to, you know, help coding. You know, we've promoted like girls in STEM, you know, that sort of thing. As well as, yeah, we have like internal blog spaces that people just basically post anything that they're interested in. They want to kind of raise awareness. So there's all sorts of conversations happening, you know, within the organization. So there's definitely something somewhere. As been mentioned, there are clubs, you know, for the social interests. So yeah, there are football groups. I think one of the directors play on those five-a-sides. So yeah, there is no like hierarchies in those things. It's just like one-to-one, which is, I think, is quite fantastic. I go to climbing with a group, so you get to meet different people that you don't generally, you know, get to know, but, you know, across sort of similar interests, you get to know people, and not just the physical ones. Like I said, there are some craft ones and musical ones and things like that go across different locations, so you just get to meet them, you know, virtually, but just, yeah, meet face. So it was really quite nice. I was in one of the groups, and then one of the guy in London was leaving, and he came up to Leeds for a sort of farewell, which was quite nice. So yeah, so these things kind of happen as well as ad hoc. So
yeah, and I mean, with a group like the craft group, I know from talking to one of my colleagues that they had a secret Santa. So and it sounded really nice because everybody got something that was handmade from another person, and so that kind of sharing and that creativity is just, I think it's a brilliant thing. Any other final thoughts? Cool. Okay, then we're still open to questions. I don't think we've got any yet, but if there's anything you'd like to know about how we support people at BJSS, please pop a question in the Q&A channel. Got our first one by the looks of it. Difference between line manager and squad lead. So really it's a case of as BJSS has grown, we had the traditional kind of line manager who would look after all things and then just escalate up to a people lead. But as we grew, that became unmanageable because the people lead didn't have time to talk to the many line managers that we had. And so we then introduced the squad lead who looks after 30 people, supports the line managers in delivering what a line manager normally does, but takes some pressure off the people lead, and can escalate the more serious things to the people lead for either clarification or for approval. So there's that, but the squad lead is also responsible for kind of making sure everyone's happy almost in their squad. So it's kind of you have a duty to meet with all your squad on a regular basis and understand them and understand what's going on for them, not just on their project but in their life, so that you can notice any difference and support them, so maybe in a mental health space or something like that.
We've got another question from Georgina around supporting a certificates and qualifications. I was kind of actually thinking about this, mentioning this earlier, while Becky was obviously talking, about the support in a project, etc. And also when Ash was saying that, the move from Tessa into Scrum Master kind of thing, because I was actually once on the Scrum Master course and got supported to be on the course as well as getting the certificates done as a part of, so it's all paid for. And we have an incentive scheme around sort of particularly around cloud and platform sort of side, as well as a few other things that I probably don't know. But yeah, so it's all there. So it's all paid for and supported. And there are lots of internal sort of, I think there's a platform called Learn Hub, which you can go on to watch videos and take courses by yourself. So there are self-learning materials, as well as like access to Safari books and things, as well as that could potentially lead on to certifications and qualifications if it's actually happened to be relevant. I think it's a lot of times it's relevant to your project or technical sort of capability that you do, but definitely there are supports for those things. Does that answer to your question? Or anybody want to maybe a little bit more?
I was just going to say I agree in terms of because there's a lot of incentives around, specifically around the cloud ones, and I took advantage of that when we first went into lockdown. Couldn't go anywhere, and I thought I might as well do some qualifications. And yeah, there was loads of incentives for it. So I made you get time off as well, I believe, to prep for your exam as well. And what else? It's been a while now, and the exam was paid for and I passed, and you get a little bonus in your check, so in your payslip, so which was nice. It just made me, I wanted to learn it, and it was just that little bit extra that I was like, yeah, might as well do it now. So there's definitely a lot of support around that. Yeah,
there's definitely people there for you. I think when you do the cloud training, you're either in a little peer group of people doing it, or there are people available, so you can ask questions, as well as I think there's quite a bit of training material as well, isn't there?
Yeah, we used to also have like people come to the office to do some trainings for us, isn't it? I've gone to a presentation course or something at one point. I had to actually stand up and speak in front of people and train, basically a few-day course. And then we did do a lot of soft skill kind of courses back a few years back. So there was external companies that came to us and did a lot of different kind of trainings. So it's how to be more assertive, you know, how to be more confident in a speech, you know. Obviously these kind of occasions it would pay out, I hope. But yeah, there's definitely those things that are happened in the past, obviously not quite as much nowadays, but we do, as well as we do presentations out like this one, we tend to get people in to get us into those courses as well.
Yeah. Favorite social event or activity? I think probably a lot of people's favorite social event would be one of the weekends away. So what happens is once a year, it hasn't happened during lockdown, unfortunately, but BJSS will pay for a person and their partner and their children, if they have any, for a weekend event. That's usually a Friday night, a Saturday full of events. This year slightly different, but we've still got the Saturday full of events, and basically it's a chance for you to get to know other people. It's a fun day. So I mean, we've had things like archery, Segway races, and all sorts of other things. Yeah, and it's all paid for. All you end up doing is paying a little bit through your P11D to the tax for it, but otherwise it's a free event. There's a nice meal in the evening, etc. And so I think a lot of the events like that are great fun, but even the kind of monthly socials are really cool as well. So just like people dressing up for Halloween for the day,
That's great.
Yeah, and potentially doing interviews in Halloween costumes.
Yeah, with the blood sort of streaking down your face and things. Yeah, so we have bake-offs for the charities, like so once a year we do like children in need events. So we do bake-offs, so people bring in their own baked cakes, and then we basically do a voting and get number one, and then afterwards we can actually pay for £1 a slice or whatever, and then, you know, all proceedings go to charity, but we get to eat the cakes as well, so which is a fantastic event. I really love that one. I don't bake it, but I just eat.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of the brilliant events that I love.
Just to touch on the weekend away as well, I haven't been to one yet, but I will be doing this year. Fingers crossed it goes ahead as planned. But one of the things that is amazing, if you do have children like myself and you take them along, you get a babysitter for the evening, so you can go enjoy a meal and a drink in peace, which I think is just fantastic. That is provided. Take your children away and get a babysitter.
Yeah, I definitely took advantage of that in previous years. So it's just a really nice atmosphere and things. The other nice thing is that probably less so now, but we used to get, I guess most of the board of directors would come along, but because we're such a big company now, you'll get someone from the leadership team will be there and get involved, and they are very approachable. So it's all those kind of, again, everyone is approachable. I think when I joined, it was described to me as kind of a very flat hierarchy and quite egoless. So there's no kind of like, I am the boss, you can't talk to me. Very, very friendly people.
Yeah, it's one of the things I absolutely love the most. Everyone is so friendly. Doesn't matter who they are, what role they do. Everyone's just willing to have a conversation and just chat, and it's really, like I said earlier, it's a real sense of community and family-like atmosphere.
So it's really quite interesting because we actually get to do like project level, so different layers of groups have got different sort of social activities. So we get like team outings or project outings per like projects clients, as well as more sort of bigger group like squad sometimes go out together, or a couple of different squads go out together. And then, you know, I think I've been taken out once or twice by my line manager back in some days. And then there is the monthly social part office, you know, so different offices do like arrange. So the office admins tend to arrange monthly on, I think it's usually on the last Friday of the month. They tend to just like order a bunch of pizzas or something, and then so do different activities like the karaoke. We did the retro games, board games, or dance competition, Dance Revolution or something, which can be quite physical with beer in hand. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know how well it goes together, but yeah. So, and then there is the bigger event like the weekend away. So there is, and then the quarterly town hall usually ends with a social outings at sort of, we tend to go to which one is that? Can't remember the name of the place, but we go out in Leeds, and then we just have like bunches of food and things. We did barbecue at one point, I think. I'm sure. Yeah. So yeah, there's quite a few different things going at different levels of groups.
Yeah, I think I guess to answer your question, Rebecca, as well, then yeah, we are moving to a hybrid model. It's a bit fluid at the moment as to what it is, but the basics are really that we're driven by what the client wants to an extent, but we will negotiate with them. So we'll do what's right for the client, what's right for BJSS, what's right for the people, and is not an easy balance to find. But we do appreciate some people will be more hesitant going into the office, and so just conversations with your line manager, your squad lead, etc. If anybody's nervous about that aspect of it, then yeah, it's very much a case of there will be people in the office. You might work from home a lot. I'm on a project at the moment where we've got people from a lot of different regional offices. So I'm from Leeds. We've got people from London, Bristol, Birmingham, etc. So it's very much a case of we're unlikely to meet as a whole group, but those of us who work in Leeds will probably get together on occasion and go into the office to do work. So it's again, it's a bit of a mix. For the town halls, again, there will be a mix. So you'll be able to go in person. In the Leeds office is really nice on the ground floor because there's a nice open space where you can sit and eat your lunch, or you can have a chat, etc., with a kind of open kitchen bar. But there's also a kind of lecture theatre that can be opened up, so you can have quite a big space down there as well. So it's going to be a mix. We're kind of feeling our way with it, as probably other companies are, but it's primarily driven by what we need, what the client needs, and talking to the individuals about how we can support them in whatever we're asking of them. Cool. Any final questions or thoughts? Cool. I think we can probably finish it there then, if that's all right with everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grand. Thanks to everyone who's joined us. I hope it's been useful and informative, and I think we've enjoyed ourselves talking about what we've been up to. So thanks everyone, and hope you have a good rest of your day.
Bye.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Cheers.